There's currently a lot of conflict between Israel and Gaza. How do you think Israel should handle the situation with Gaza?
I think Gaza should have been taken over long ago.
I think they should go all in.
How do you think Israel should handle the situation here with Gaza?
So that's a really good question, and I think there's lots of different opinions in Israel. I will tell you my opinion, and by the way, you ask an Israeli, they'll be happy to tell you their opinion.
Right.
Look, I think Gaza should have been taken over long ago. There is a very, very strong-minded radical ideology among Hamas in which they would kill not only Israel but all the Jews in the world. It's like ideology. There's no doubt about that. The problem in the Middle East is you can decimate most of Hamas, but enough that a few of them are still standing and are able to fire rockets that they claim victory. By the way, I have 3 daughters. 2 of my daughters have friends who were killed in Gaza as soldiers.
Wow.
So it's very unfortunate.
It's a personal issue for you?
It's personal for everybody in Israel.
Right.
And so I think that we have no choice. They've turned on everything, because they want to maintain power, maintain their ideology, and they promised to strike at Israel again and again like they did on October 7th.
So Israel has recently decided to invade Gaza. What's your opinion on that and the situation with Gaza?
It's a hard question. It's a hard situation, really.
Right.
That's happening in Israel. It's difficult because you have a very sensitive situation where you have a lot of bad people in one place, but it's mixed with not so bad people. So you don't really know what to do in that situation.
Yes.
So we can't go on without letting these bad people in the world, right? And these bad people continue to terrorize, and it's not only in Israel, it's becoming to spread throughout the world.
So what's the ultimate solution?
It's not me to decide, only God has that answer, really. But we can only do what we think is best and what the idea think is best.
There's currently a lot of conflict between Israel and Gaza. What's your opinion on how that situation should be handled and the solution for that?
So many of our soldiers are dying. We need everyone home. And it's very hard because we don't like killing innocent people. No one does. And
Right.
That's not what we want to do. But we have to get them home.
There's been an increasing amount of protests for Gaza, for the Palestinians around the world. How do you feel about that as an Israeli?
So we're not she's Israeli. I'm not Israeli. But I think what I would say is we're actually all on the same side. We actually all want peace. And I think the only people who don't want peace are terrorists.
Agreed.
And if the world could get behind that message and we can all support the message of peace, which means eliminating Hamas, but it doesn't mean getting rid of anybody else, then I think the problem would be solved.
How do you think Israel should handle the situation with Gaza?
I think they should go all in.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because the problem is that you're not going in and you're not withdrawing. So the situation is will keep forever. Of course, there is propaganda. We know how much fake news is going around,
yeah.
But people want to believe on it. Why people are not fighting over, I don't know, Sudan, over Syria, which was a lot worse, or about Ukraine and Russia? Only Gaza matters.
Netanyahu has recently decided to invade Gaza and go through with that. Do you agree with that decision, or do you disagree?
I do agree.
You agree?
I do agree.
Okay.
I know that there would be very, very bad, a lot of deaths, but I think that they should come.
How do you believe Israel should handle the conflict with Gaza?
I don't think there's a good exit, like a good solution to all of it, only because we are talking about generations over generations of people who their only opinion is to hate us, and the only thing they know is how to hate, and why? And I think even in Israel and among a lot of Arab countries, a lot of them, in the education of them, they educate them to hate Jewish people.
They're raised that way.
And I think it's really sad because the education is how you it's the way that the people gonna express themselves when they older.
Yeah.
And if I got raised to know and to think one thing, this is how I'm going to act and this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And I know a lot of people from Syria that comes to get medical attention here in Israel.
Yeah.
And they say listen, I thought everyone here is monsters and they want to kill all of us, and now they treat us and we are in the Israeli hospitals, and there's a lot of Gazans people in the Israeli hospitals.
Wow.
And a lot of Muslims from everywhere, from Lebanon, from Gaza, from Syria, that are getting treatment here in Israel.
How do you believe Israel should handle the situation with Gaza?
Look, I'm someone who is very critical of the government's policy. I'm somebody who thinks it's not my phrase, flood the zone, not the Donald Trump use of flood the zone, but as much aid as possible in huge amounts that devalues the price so Hamas can't actually exploit it would be my thing, because I think children are starving and people are starving, and I also don't think that is I don't think that's a negative thing with regard to getting the hostages back. I don't understand what we're doing in there as a war anymore. It seems entirely pointless. And yes, I'm one of those Israelis who believe that the decisions are entirely led by Netanyahu's desire to stay out
And
of jail.
speaking of Netanyahu, I have a question about him. Do you agree or disagree with Netanyahu's recent decision to invade Gaza?
Every decision he takes is based on his calculus of what can keep him out of jail. That's my opinion. It's probably a majority opinion of Israelis. I don't think there are, maybe there's Trump has a 30-40% base who will believe anything. Netanyahu has maybe similar, but the vast majority of Israelis don't trust Netanyahu and hold him in some sense responsible.